Huskies get the job done against the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, completing the upset and the sweep. Welcome into your Husky Hockey Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Nik Spiliopoulos. On Friday night, Luke Jaycox, the junior defenseman from Warroad, Minnesota, was the first to draw blood for the Huskies, giving them the 1-0 lead. Then for Duluth, Kobe Roth would answer with the game-tying goal. And in the second period, it was freshman Chase Brand from Spencer Meyer. You could see that he might have whiffed on the pass, but it just caught the skate of a Duluth defenseman to find the back of the net, and the Huskies would take Friday with a 2-1 win. On Saturday, the Huskies got that sweep in mind, and it took until the third period, and it was late, and I mean late. 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining in the game. It was Nick Poehling getting his stick on a deflection goal from Jack Ashan, and Micah Miller would bury an empty net goal to give the Huskies the sweep with a 2-0 win. One of the main reasons for the Huskies' success this past weekend was junior goaltender David Hrenak, who was named NCHC Goalie of the Week. He made 59 saves over the weekend against Minnesota Duluth, including a 27-save shutout Saturday against the Bulldogs. And not to forget, the Huskies killed 6 of 7 Minnesota Duluth power plays. Great team effort by the Huskies this weekend. Taking a look at your NCHC standings, North Dakota still sitting atop the conference, but Minnesota Duluth didn't move even though they got swept by the Huskies. And sitting in 4th place, this weekend's upcoming opponent for St. Cloud State, the Western Michigan Broncos, with 19 total points on the season, and right behind them, St. Cloud State with 15, rounding out the final 8, Omaha, Miami, and Colorado College. And now joining me from the rink live is Mick Hatton. Mick, as we just finished looking at the standings, what does this upcoming weekend mean for St. Cloud in terms of playoff implications?
Well, the top 4 teams in the conference are going to have a home playoff series to open up. Right now, Western Michigan sitting in 4th place, St. Cloud in 5th. This is a chance for St. Cloud State to make up some ground on Western Michigan. And this is a place that, for whatever reason, St. Cloud State has played well on the road here. They're 9-0-3 all time in this series, and let's see if they can keep the streak going.
And defense crucial against Minnesota Duluth. What do they need to do to continue their play for the rest of the season?
Well, I think one of the things is they need to keep paying attention to detail. This is a talented group of defensemen, in particular for St. Cloud State. That's where most of their experience was coming back this season, and in goal. So I mean, this is kind of how I expected them to play, kind of going into the season. We've seen spurts of this, but that was by far their best all-around weekend. And then when they go 6 for 7 on the penalty kill, that's going to be a big boost too to any team. They got to stay out of the box this weekend against Western Michigan. And Western Michigan likes to play kind of a physical game, particularly at home on a smaller sheet ice.
And not to mention, Duluth had a top 5 in the nation power play. So like you said, that defense really showed out this past weekend, and hoping they can continue it as the season progresses. And as we take a look at Mick and Nick's picks, we each got 1 point on the same goal last, so I still hold the 1-point advantage, 6-5. Mick, who are you taking this week?
I'm going with Nick Poehling. This is typically kind of a rough and tumble kind of series when they play Western Michigan. Nick's the type of guy that's not afraid to go in front of the net, as we saw against UMD. He got the game-winning goal on a tip out there. I think it's going to be that kind of a weekend for St. Cloud State, so I'm going to go with Nick Poehling, who also is on the power play.
Not a bad pick. I'm going to go with the sophomore Micah Miller. He netted the empty net goal on Saturday against Minnesota Duluth. He's strung together a couple of good series, and I'm hoping he will do the same out in Kalamazoo. For this upcoming series, as St. Cloud State heads out to take on Western Michigan, you can catch both of those games at 6 o'clock on NCHC.TV. That wraps it up for your Husky Hockey Weekend Preview. I'm Nik Spiliopoulos. Go Huskies.